Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Amara's Kitchen. Today we'll be making this green and red, or should I say orange peppered sauce. Yes, today I'll be showing you guys how I made this delicious peppered sauce. Really peppered sauce. Okay, very delicious. If you're new to this channel, you're very much welcome to my channel. Please do not forget to hit that subscription button and turn on your notification bell so you know whenever I post any video. And to my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much. Let's get started. Alright guys, we'll go ahead and get started with this peppered sauce recipe. And here are some of the ingredients I'll be using. I'll go ahead and introduce them. So I have, I'll be making two different peppered sauce. Green one, okay? I'll be making green and then the red one. And I have here, I have some garlic and ginger. I'll be using all of this garlic, but I'll be cutting about half of the ginger. Okay, I'll show you guys everything as we go along. So the first step now is to go ahead and clean up my bell pepper. I'll go ahead and wash this up and clean them up. All right. So guys, at this point, we don't need to be fancy about the cutting because we're going to be blending it anyway. So we'll just have to roughly chop them up, okay? Just chop them up to help the blender, okay? To help the blending process. Yeah. So go ahead and set this aside while we proceed to the onions. Okay, next ingredient, I'll be using 2 large onions, okay? The yellow and the purple onions. Alright guys, my onions has been washed and cleaned. So a quick tip, if you don't want to be tearing up when you're cutting your onions, so after cutting them, just go ahead and put them in the cold water, okay? And then when you're ready to blend them, just grab them from the cold water and start blending. That's gonna prevent the over tearing when you're cutting your onions. So another thing I've also tried in terms of cutting the onions, you can also put it in your refrigerator for a couple minutes before cutting it. Our onions is ready. So the next is the garlic and ginger. So this has been in my freezer. I usually buy my garlic and ginger in a very large quantity. I clean them up and I freeze them in my freezer. So I brought this out for a while and it has thawed. So I'll go ahead and cut the amount that I'll be needing for the 2 peppered sauce. I also made a video about how I preserve my garlic and ginger. The video should be somewhere. I'll put the link, okay? I'll put the link up there. It should be popping up, so you can also check that out if you haven't seen it already. And that is ready. So the next thing is the pepper that I'll be using. Like I told you guys already, I'm making the green peppered sauce and the colored, like let me say the red peppered sauce. So I'm going to be starting with the red one. So these are the pepper that I'll be using. So I'm going to be using all of this pepper, okay? I'll go ahead and wash this and remove all those head part of it. Alright guys, so everything is set, okay? Here I have the onions. Onions is right here. I have palm oil. Then the pepper washed and clean. And then my blended bell peppers. The garlic and ginger. Salt to taste. About 3 to 4 tablespoons of crayfish. Then I'll be adding half of this crayfish Maggi. So I will open it up and I will use half of it. And the same thing with this naan. It has two inside of it. I'll be using just one. So now let's get over to the stove and get cooking, okay? All right, guys, before we start cooking, we can't forget about the blending, okay? We need to blend up all the ingredients that I have mentioned to you guys. So I added all the mixed bell pepper, and I'll be adding half of the onions. I'll be using half of the onions, okay? Then I will be adding some of the garlic and some of the ginger, but at this time the blender is pretty much full. I'll go ahead and blend it a little bit. Once I have more room, then I'll add the rest of the ingredients and blend them together. So I'm using the crush. Make sure I use crush because I don't want it to be too over blended or grind. So just roughly chop it up, okay? You want it to be in a little bit of, have some kind of bites in it. So once everything is well blended, just the way they are right now, let's get cooking. So here I have my pot, okay? So I'll go ahead and add the palm oil. The pot is dry. Go ahead and add the palm oil. So the goal is not to fry the palm oil. It's just to, once it's warm enough, we'll go ahead and add our blended pepper. So I want to make sure that we grab all the pepper out of the blender, okay? You don't want to waste any of your ingredients. So just use the spatula or whatever you can to get everything out of the blender. And here I've got my crayfish. I'll go ahead and add in the crayfish. So after adding the crayfish, go ahead and stir everything up together until they are all marrying each other, well blended and well incorporated. Okay, stir and stir until everything is well blended properly. So once it's well blended, I'll go ahead and add stock cube. So like I told you guys, I'm using just one. And as well, I'll be using the crayfish stock cube. I will use half of it. I'm using the bigger part of it for this recipe because the other one is a little bit smaller. This one is bigger than the green pepper sauce, okay? So after covering, I let it simmer for like 2 to 3 minutes. At this time, I will make sure that the stock cubes that I throw in there is not still in a cube form. They have all dissolved. Just additional flavor, this is optional. I'm adding just half a teaspoon of chicken bouillon flavor. I love the taste that this gives in sauce, even in a jollof rice. This kind of is like a taste booster, like it boosts the taste, like the flavor, yeah, everything kind of like over the board. So I usually like to add it. So I'll go ahead and cover this and let it simmer for another 3 to 4 minutes. So after 4 good minutes, the sauce is as good as done. As you can see, the oils are kind of at the top of it right now. They're kind of a little bit separated. Go ahead and stir everything up properly together. All right, and our sauce is good. And this sauce is so versatile. You can use it for so many things. I'm just giving it a quick taste. Amazing, tastes so fantastic, yeah. So we are done with this recipe. We'll go ahead and get it off the stove and set it aside, okay, while we'll go ahead and proceed with our next recipe, okay. So the second one is just the same recipe, the same thing. The only difference is that I'm using vegetable oil, okay. So in a skillet pan, add the vegetable oil and then add in all the blended pepper and ginger, garlic, okay, and bell pepper. So everything was blended together. I'll go ahead and season this up with the remaining crayfish stock cube, remaining non-cube. I'll also be adding crayfish as well. Then add a little bit of the chicken bouillon flavor. So everything is just the same. Add salt to taste, okay? So stir everything until they are well combined. So they are basically the same thing. There is nothing different. The only one different thing is the vegetable oil. I use vegetable oil for the green one, and I use palm oil for the red one, okay? So I'll go ahead and cover this and let it simmer together for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, as you can see, all the oil has settled just at the top of the sauce and it's ready. So guys, tell me one thing you think that would be so delicious to eat with this sauce. I really want to know so I can give it a try as well. It smells so good. I'll go ahead and get it off the stove at this point. We are done, ready to go. Please do not forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you. So this green one has quite a lot of vegetable oil in it, and I did that on purpose, okay? So I'll go ahead and use my container. I have this storage container. You can store this with anything you feel comfortable that will keep it safe for a longer time, okay? Because with this container that I'm using, it's kind of airtight container, okay? So it can last up to 30 days. I can save this in my refrigerator for up to 30 days, like a month, and nothing will happen. It will still remain fresh. So once I have all of them stored up in that container, yes, it's very, very important that you store them in something that is very safe. Make sure you clean them up properly. Any part that you see any oil, just make sure you clean it up. So this green one, so this is why I added a lot of oil. So I go ahead and drain the excess oil. Yes, you don't want to leave all that excess oil, but it's optional. You can leave it if you want. It's your food. You do whatever you want, right? So this is the oil. I'll use this oil to make a little bit of sauce later. That's like the amazing part of it. I just wanted to use that excess oil, maybe to fry some egg, anything. You can do whatever you want with that oil, and it tastes so heavenly. Yeah, so amazing. So I'll go ahead and start these guys up, and I'm ready to go. So this recipe, like I said before, is so versatile. You can use this for so many stuff. You can use this for your roasted yam, parboiled white yam, roasted plantain, parboiled plantain, even fish, like grilled fish. Oh my god, this would be so amazing with grilled fish, okay? So you can think about anything you can use this sauce with, even Irish potato. Yeah, so this sauce can go with so many things you can even think of that I can't even remember right now. Yeah, so that's it for this recipe. I hope you guys enjoy watching. I will see you all on my next one. Please do not forget to subscribe, thumbs up this video, and turn your notification bell on. Until I see you again, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.